Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Brighton Area Schools Board of Education meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Acromite, roll call, please.
Mrs. Urbane? Present. Mrs. Tierney? Here. Mr. Stahl?
Here.
Dr. Krebs? Here. Mrs. Marks?
Here.
Mr. Myers?
Here. All right, that moves us to the approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented? Moved by Mr. Stahl, support by Ms. Tierney. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any nays? That passes 6-0. That moves us to the superintendent report. Dr. Outlaw.
Okay, I'm going to have our new Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction, Mr. Satterfield, come on up here. I'm going to introduce him on the way up. We've had an exhaustive process. We had many outstanding candidates along the way. We've had Mrs. Marks, Mrs. Tierney, and Dr. Krebs that were all part of this process, our first crack at this, and then we went back at it with the help of Michigan Leadership Institute, and it was a fantastic pool of candidates that we had. We had several outstanding folks, but I am absolutely thrilled. Mr. Satterfield really stood out from the group. He comes to us, he's assistant superintendent currently for a couple more days in the Woodhaven-Brownstown community, and he was director of curriculum before that, director of technology, did all kinds of things in the district, began as an elementary school teacher, he's a basketball coach. Yep. He's got all kinds of great things in his background over here, and we're absolutely thrilled. His beliefs, his ideas for the district really align well with our district, and we're super excited to have him joining the team on Monday. So, Mr. Satterfield, anything you want to share?
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Outlaw, and the administration team and the Board of Education for your support. Very impressed by Dr. Outlaw's memorization of my resume and background. Way to go. I'm very, very excited to be here in an excellent district. I'm bringing my skill sets and experience here, looking to listen and learn and lead with our curriculum team and our administration team early on. I had a great opportunity already, coordinated with Jacob and the team, met with some elementary principals, met with some of the cabinet. Monday is the day officially for me to start, and we're ready to hit the ground running. Everyone a part of this team and in this building have been excellent, making it very smooth, so I look forward to a long career of success and building upon all the successes this Board of Education and community have already integrated here. I'm very excited. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Satterfield, on behalf of the board, I just want to, first of all, extend a congratulations for being accepted to this, applying for and being accepted to this position. We welcome you to the district. Although I wasn't part of the interview process, everyone that I've talked to had just had glowing remarks about you, your background, and really the exciting things that everyone believes this district has in store under your leadership as the Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction. I mean, obviously that's the core of what we do as a district is to teach our students, and the curriculum and instruction is obviously at the heart of that. It's one of the most important positions in the district, and we're really excited about your leadership and all the successes that the district will have under your leadership in the future. So again, on behalf of the board, welcome, and we can't wait for you to begin.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, that closes the superintendent report. That moves us to the call to the public. If there is anyone here who would like to address the board, this is your opportunity to do so. Our protocol is to have you fill out a card at the rear of the room, drop it in the box to the left of Mr. Jones. I will call your name. When I do call your name, you will have 3 minutes to address the board. It's not a question and answer session. Mr. Stahl will be keeping track of time. When you have 30 seconds left in your allotted 3 minutes, he will display the yellow card, and when your time is up, he will display the red card. So the first card I have is John Connolly.
Good evening, Board. John Conley, Green Oak Township. Tonight, here to settle up on something. Our Board President, including illegal signs currently being prosecuted, came with a no bond campaign. I have a judgment here for you from court. I'm going to get you guys all a copy. And so that case was dismissed 100%. And I believe the Board President should be cautious in doing publications. Maybe you guys should review them before he puts them to print and publishes things like that. And when you read the case study, I think you'll appreciate that. I'll leave it at that, and we'll keep moving forward. Thank you. So,
Thank you.
Star, if you could put this in the record and also make copies or email them, please.
Sid Atkin.
Hi, Sid Atkin, City of Brighton. So I didn't write anything today. I missed the last meeting, but I just wanted to give my thoughts on an upcoming bond decision. I do think the conversation appeared to go around dropping to about like a $90 million, considering that amount. I think that seems pretty drastic. I mean, I don't know what items you're considering. I mean, obviously, being less than 156 is completely fine, but just knowing what the needs are of the district, it's just a pretty big drop. So I hope you're considering all the items. Obviously, I'm here to advocate for the music programs, the new band room, orchestra spaces in the high school and the middle school, as well as the BCPA needed upgrades, particularly around the seating. So I hope that they are strongly considered to be included in what will be an upcoming bond if you guys can come to a consensus. So appreciate your time. I think you guys have a really great opportunity. The way this board has worked together, I think it's been something refreshing and unique to the district. So I just kind of, if not now, when, is kind of where I'm at. So thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you. Bruce Ritter.
Good evening. I am the Brighton Area Schools Alumni Association President. I'm a class of 1971 graduate. Since its organization in 1987, following the 100th anniversary of Brighton Area Schools, we've been working to keep the spirit alive of BHS alumni. Contributions by alumni and memorials are the major source of funding, which allows us to send out an annual newsletter, have an annual banquet, and award scholarships to graduating BHS seniors. We've also funded the 50th Golden Anniversary Diploma given to the returning class each year. So some specifics on that. For our dinner this year, which is coming up Saturday, we have 105 returning Brighton alumni coming to our dinner. October 15th will be the ceremony for the new distinguished alumni, courtesy of Dr. Outlaw and your support as well. Those new inductees this year will be Mike Monroe, class of 81, Colleen Monroe, class of 82, and Dr. Ron Hollis, class of 91. The next following day will be homecoming. This year we provided 12 scholarships to the Brighton High School seniors for a total of $13,500. Our total so far has been $154,000 in scholarships to Brighton seniors. This year at graduation, the class of 76 returned. There were 53 who came back, even though it was canceled from Friday to Saturday. That's a new record for people coming back after 50 years. Many of them were blown away by the Brighton area schools facilities. They had a fantastic time. This year, again, at our dinner, we've got a number of sponsors. We're very happy that you are supporting us, and we continue to hope that this will, should I say continue again? Continue in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Matt Hutchison.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Matthew Hutchison. I'm a Genoa Township resident and a proud alumnus of Brighton area schools. To this day, I carry lessons from my elementary, middle, and high school teachers through a career that has taken me from the boardrooms of Apple and Dell to CBS and to Forbes. Those teachers shaped how I think, how I write, and how I communicate. So I thank this board, this administration, the teachers, and the staff for continuing the tradition of educational excellence in our community. I also offer my full support as you consider placing a revised bond proposal before voters this November. As your history teachers surely instruct, the bedrock of a vibrant democracy rests on the idea that reasonable people can disagree about issues by engaging in legitimate, healthy, and welcome debate. But the May bond proposal, defeated by a mere 348 votes out of the more than 11,000 cast, did not stay within those bounds. The district found it necessary to create a fact or fiction site simply to correct the record as materially inaccurate information was circulated publicly. At least some of the public opposition, although they're not here now, they walked out, was also tied not to the merits of the proposal, but to who sits on this board. That is not how important public questions should be decided. I'm equally troubled that shortly after the election, the Livingston County Republican Party terminated or rejected the memberships of 4 members of this board: Roger Myers, Jennifer Marks, Kate Tierney, and Alicia Urbane. Public reporting has documented the timing and sequence of these events. In my view, those events created the appearance that members of an independent, nonpartisan school board were subjected to partisan discipline simply for exercising their judgment as duly elected representatives. Our children and our community deserve so much more. Thoughtful adults examine evidence, they navigate hard questions, and they reach responsible decisions. My hope is that the November proposal affecting thousands of students is evaluated on its merits, free from the entanglement of personal or political grievances. So I close where I began, with gratitude and an offer to fully support a modified proposal that protects Brighton's educational future. Let's give our children the outstanding schools that place them on a path of lifelong success. And as adults, let's set the example that we expect them to follow in the classroom. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, that concludes our call to the public this evening and moves us to our for action portion of our agenda. Item A, regular meeting minutes of June 8, 2026. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Moved by Dr. Krebs, supported by Ms. Tierney. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have an addition to make. Under section 5.
The minutes.
Yeah, you said agenda. Yeah.
Okay, so the minutes. Who made the motion?
Dr. Krebs. Yeah.
Supporter? Thank you.
And what, go ahead, Dr. Krebs.
Okay, so under superintendent report, it says A shining stars, but they're not listed, so I'm just wondering if we can get those listed. Looking at my notes, I had that the girls track and field, the boys track and field, and the auto tech, and if I've missed any, could you add those into the minutes? Thank you.
All right. Okay, do we have a motion to approve the minutes as revised? All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any nays? That passes 6-0. All right, that moves us to item B, special meeting minutes of June 25, 2026. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes as presented?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Stahl, supported by Ms. Marks. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any nays? That passes 6-0. That moves us to the Human Resources Report. Mr. Anastasov.
All right, good evening. So a little bit shorter this time, but very much just as important. I did pass around an updated copy and just did things just a little bit differently this time, where I updated in red and then actually made my updates in red, even though I understand now that the colors orange and red look very similar on this, so I might do that differently next time. But the only changes that were made to it was Mark McVeigh, which I'll get to that, his effective date. We had that since it was posted. The bridge ELA position is not filled yet, so I did have to remove that, and I moved that to the bottom that is still a vacancy. So those are the only changes made from the ones that were in the board packet previously. But with that being said, we're looking to bring in 2 new teachers into the district on this, and we also have are looking to get Mark McKay approved as well as our new Assistant Superintendent of Finance.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the Human Resources Report as presented?
So moved.
Moved by Dr. Krebs, supported by Ms. Tierney. Any discussion?
I just wanted to make a comment.
and acknowledge and commend administration for including students in some of these evaluations. I thought that was great. I know they reached out to NHS students and asked them to come sit through some example lessons and give their evaluation, and especially because they've got a different perspective than everyone else that's doing the interview. So I'd like to see more of that. I think it's fantastic. Thank you.
And we're also very thankful that students are willing to come in over the summer to participate in that. So it's easier sometimes to do in the year, but it was nice to see them come in to still be a part of, it's an important part of the process.
And the only thing I just want to, just for clarification for the record, the new hires that we are going to be approving as part of this report will be Mark McKay, Jenna Criswell, and Corrigan Nitto. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Those three?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect. All right, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any nays? That passes 6-0. And I want to welcome those three individuals to the district. We look forward to the impact that they will have on the success of the district. I want to extend a special welcome to Mr. McKay as the new Assistant Superintendent of Finance. Look forward to the transition period that Mr. Jones will be working with Mr. McKay over the next couple of months and having him join us at the board table. All right, that moves us to item D, the MHSAA resolution. Dr. Outlaw, you want to give another
This is
overview of that?
the annual document that allows us to be part of the MHSA and all of the state competitions. So we're having it in front of you. If anybody has any questions, just let me know.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the MHSAA resolution as presented? So moved. Moved by Mr. Stahl, supported by Dr. Krebs. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any nays? That passes 6-0. That moves us to item E, handbook revisions. Is that Mr. Anastasoff?
Yes.
All right.
All right, so the second time around, so looking for it, and obviously for future action last time, but looking to get approved of the 3 different schools that had handbook revisions heading into this next year.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the handbook revisions as presented? Moved by Dr. Krebs, supported by Ms. Marks. Any discussion?
I just want clarification. The student crossing procedure that's in here, is this going to be part of all of the handbooks as posted online, or?
So the goal was, to make the transportation ones, the goal is, if approved, to become part of all the handbooks that are in the district. Yeah,
Okay.
so that we will include that in all
So
of them.
this will be included in all of them?
Yep, and they'll be
Okay.
distributed by the transportation as well separately.
Thank you.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any nays? That passes 6-0. That moves us to item F, the DECA field trip overnight. Dr. Outlaw.
For both items F and G, these are the annual trips for our DECA program to compete at the state level and then at the national level.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the overnight DECA field trip as presented? So moved. Moved by Mr. Stahl. Supported by Ms. Marks. Any discussion?
Are we approving both of them?
Just the first one for now, yeah. All right, all those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any nays? That passes 6-0. That moves us to item G, the out-of-state DECA field trip. Do we have a motion to approve that as presented? Moved by Ms. Marks, supported by Dr. Krebs. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any nays? That passes 6-0. Moves us to item H, Policy 5405, Title I Parent and Family Engagement. Mr. Anastasoff?
All right, and this is one of our policies that's kind of left over from an old Troon packet that we had to work through and add some additional components to it from what we do in the district, but looking for approval of this policy tonight.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the Policy 5405 revisions as presented? Moved by Mr. Stahl. Supported by Ms. Tierney. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any nays? That passes 6-0. That concludes the for action portion of our agenda and moves us to the for future action. Item A is the chiller installation. Mr. Jones, you want to take that one?
Yep, so the RFP for the installation of the new chillers on the roof of the high school has been published. So we will have the opening of the bids on July 30th, so we will have time to interview and select our vendor before the next board meeting in August.
Good. Any questions? And do we have a date for the actual delivery of the chiller itself? Or is that going to be still dependent on?
We have a general lead time when we place the order. So it's roughly about 6 months.
Okay, then that moves us to item B, capital improvement projects for RFP. Mr. Jones, you want that one again, or you want Dr. Outlaw?
Well, we could start, I'm going to kick it over to the facility committee to maybe talk about this, and Ms. Tierney and our chair, Mr. Stahl, and Mr. Storm before have been working on this at last couple of meetings here, so I'd like to turn it over to you all to maybe talk about your thinking on it and what you're proposing.
Go ahead. You'd like to open? No? All right. Labor for chiller at
Ken?
VHS. Go ahead.
You got to turn your. There you go.
Labor for chiller at VHS, $1 million. Bid opening on July 30th, 2026 for the exact pricing. All right, now that is what we've budgeted for that. The well at Hilton, it is one of our ones that is old, 125-370, original well in 1991, only school without a backup well. That's pretty important. Elevator code updates. We have them at the high school, the middle school, and the intermediate school. The elevator code updates are required. There's really no choice on this. We kind of went back and forth and talked about it and debated whether or not it is. They're elevators, and we don't want to have any problems with those, so that's something we put on the list. The boiler at Miller, $250,000, 30 years of useful life, installed in 2000. Boiler at Spencer, $317,992, 30 years of useful life, installed in 2000. Security lockout system at all schools, about $1.6 million. That would leave us in a deficit on the remainder after our proposed projects. And I'm gonna let you take over there because of kind of how we did at the meeting.
Okay, so if you guys are looking at the list, you can see that the items that are at the top are ones that are necessary for kids to go to school, right? So if they don't have water, if they don't have heat, it's tough for them to be in school. So we need to do those things. That's why they're at the top of the list. The security lockout system, we've asked Mr. Jones to get a more definitive scope of cost there so that we can really understand what that will cost for all of the buildings. But as Mr. Stahl said, it does put us at a negative $500,000 deficit. If you look towards the bottom of the list, we had two items that we removed from this list, which are the chillers at Horning and also at Spencer. The reason being is that those are tied to larger projects. So if we go out for a bond and let's say we do a gym, we will need a larger size chiller to accommodate. So we didn't feel it was appropriate to put something in that we may need to replace at a later date. So that's why those were pushed back until we know more at a later date. And then as for the security vestibules, those were estimated to be about $2 million at Horning and 1.8 at Spencer. And so clearly they don't fall within the allotted funds we have for capital improvement at this time.
And just to elaborate on that one, the issues with these two buildings and the reason they weren't done before, quite frankly, were because the buildings aren't made the same as the rest of them. They currently share the secure area with children that walk back and forth to get to the gymnasium or going to the office. The idea behind this on the bond was to move them forward and away from that vestibule, creating a space between, which is exactly what we need for those vestibules. I know that we spoke in great length about this. Mr. Storm was part of these discussions as well. While we may be able to do it a little bit cheaper on these, the whole point of a secure vestibule is to make sure it's done right. And it also includes, if you're going to build that out, that means you're using roof, you're using HVAC, you're doing electric. you know, there's quite a few things. I know in the Horning building specifically, it has a fresh air channel that comes in from the side of the building. It would also have to be adjusted and made right. So while we may be able to make it a little smaller, it's not significant enough that it would make this more affordable for the school district at this time.
Any questions?
I have one question about the timing of the pricing for the secure lockout. When do we think you would maybe have a better estimate of what that cost would be?
I'm starting the process tomorrow, so I'm not sure. I'm meeting with our first vendor tomorrow, but,
Oh, if I could just throw out there, I think that's the last one on the list. And when we were looking at this from the bond perspective, we were not looking at like a single provider. We were considering like exploring multiple options. We have a fantastic local option, but we wanted to look to see what the other competition might be and whatnot. So just throwing that out there, that this pricing is based on one product.
Right.
That
I
Mr.
guess my question was
Yeah.
leading in that this may not even be feasible with the dollars that we have, right? Given it could be well above the 1.6 that we have listed. And so I was wondering when we would have a better idea of what that might entail so that we can make better choices about what we're doing.
exactly, and because of that, part of my investigation is going to be, can we do it in phases? Okay, you know, if we can, what are those phases? Things like that, because of the fact that we are very tight with the dollars.
Thank you.
Ms. Urbane?
I just want to point out that the state budget passed last week, and it includes, if we choose to take the 31AA money this year, it is $2.39 million, so that would well cover those lockout systems.
Mr. Jones, just if you don't mind, because I think he has used general fund. Like, how have you earmarked the 31AA in the budget? that
So
was
a couple
approved?
things is the 31AA this year has been divided into the two pieces. So a portion of it is for the behavioral health section. So that would only be available for things like our psychologists and counselors and things like that. And then the security portion of it, we have used in the past for, to cover all of our security guards in all the buildings. So we do have general fund activities that we had in the past used 31AA funds for, just to give everybody full, you can decide how to use it, but that's how we used it in the past.
But the budget that we passed back in June 30 did not include this money. So this would be additional money that we would
Absolutely. I just wanted to share that Mr. Jones had some other stuff. So it's, you know, the money is there. If we were to accept the 31AA, it would definitely be a positive for the budget.
Yes.
And I might, if I may.
Oh, go ahead.
I understand that there's some changes in it. We've seen them. That might make that more comfortable for the board this time around. We'll all have to make that decision at some point. But yeah, just to clarify, we went a year without that money and we made it up somewhere. So it'd be, and was any of that spent on the two items that you just said we used it for in the past? Out of the rest of the general fund? So we didn't take that money. We were at a deficit because of it.
So
We had to use general fund to cover
We
all
used-
those
we did
expenditures
not-
in 25, 26.
we did not
That's
cut.
what I'm saying. So
We did not cut anything because we did not take the 31AA funds. We continued
Right.
to fund all of our security out of our general funds.
So that would
Yes.
put that money back in. for
That is
this
correct.
Next time around if we were to go that
And
route.
it would not add any additional expenses because of something we took away this year that we would then reinstate for next year.
Sorry.
That's okay. Any further comments? I just want to, just for clarification, for the public and anyone who may be watching, so the discussion regarding the various projects, the chiller for BHS, the well, the elevator code updates, the boilers for Miller and Spencer, and then potentially the security lockout system, it was then referenced that they would create a deficit of 506,000. I just want to make clear that everyone understands what we're talking about. It really isn't a deficit. The start of this spreadsheet has a remaining balance as of July 6 of $4,214,000. That's the amount that is currently in our capital improvement fund. That amount of money is the remaining balance of what we funded about 3 years ago, where we had, in our budgeting process, we had a significant amount of fund equity in that year, that we then transferred about $8.2 million into a capital improvement fund that was taken out of the general fund. Since that time, we've been spending those funds on capital improvements in the district, leaving us now a balance of $4.2 million. And so if we were to tackle all of these projects and they came in the cost estimates that are set forth on this sheet that were previously estimated, we would be short $506,000 to fully fund all those projects, meaning that we would either have to forego one or more of these projects or utilize some of the funds from the general fund in order to complete those projects. So that's what we're talking about here. There's still money there. I mean, even if we wanted to fund these projects, whether it comes in through a 31AA, whether it comes in through utilization of some of the general fund money that from this upcoming fiscal year. But obviously, the proof is going to be in the pudding when we look at and get the actual pricing for these projects, see where we are, see where the 31AA money may come in, and then make a decision at that point how we want to go. So I just wanted to make that clarification so that everyone understands what we're talking about in terms of the amounts that were quoted and how that relates to the amount that's still remaining in our capital improvement fund. All right, any other questions, comments? No?
Just one, so we'd like to bring this back. I think, you correct me if I'm wrong on this, but the idea is that this would come back for action, and the action item would be to direct the administration to seek RFPs for whatever projects that you would like us to target out of the capital improvement fund. Mr. Stahl, is that correct?
100%.
Okay. So we will bring that back as an action, clean up that list a little bit, and then obviously the RFP would bring back official, bids, and the board would make decisions based on those bids if you're going to go forward with the projects or not.
And I guess along those same lines, to the extent that some or all of the 31AA money might be utilized for the lockout system, what is the timing of when the local boards are supposed to make a decision with regard to the 31AA, and then when does it then get funded? Has that decision been made by the state, or is that still something that's up in the air?
We haven't been given a timeline. We have not seen the specific language of it. Ms. Urbane, have you seen it yet?
Yes.
You have. So is it going to be, I'm assuming it's going to be released to the schools soon?
I mean,
You don't know?
it's out there for
Is it?
anybody. I
Okay.
certainly, I sent to the
Got it.
board an analysis that I personally did for my professional work. It came back very similar to that. Most of the change, though, is coming from court decisions, not from the actual language. There is a little bit of language change, but most of it came from how court decided that those things should be interpreted. So it's much more narrow than it was before. It needs, it's only for that specific incident, so you're not waiving your privilege for everything else under the sun. It's only for that incident, and only if there is an investigation ordered by the governor. So what Troon had said previously, that we're waiving our privilege for everything, including every FOIA and all of this other stuff, is not correct. The courts have determined that it's very narrow. It relates to only the incidents in question and the investigation of the incident.
Oh, but this statute's different. I mean, the statute itself is different this year than it was last year. So regardless of what court.
Only slightly.
Right, but it's still different.
Yeah.
And last year, they set deadlines by which the districts had to make a decision. And that was my question is, are they going to set another deadline?
There will
or-
absolutely be a deadline. When I talked to MDE last week, they're working through how the money gets distributed. But last year, there was a statutory deadline that it had to be out by December 31. That is not included this year. So there's a little bit more time, and it's capped. So if there's no, last time they needed to know who was gonna take it, because then they divided that money up amongst everyone who was gonna take it. This year, it's capped on a per pupil basis. So if we don't take it and someone else does,
Doesn't change
It doesn't change it, so there's no urgency. I suspect that will be open for a while. There's no urgency to close that deadline.
I would envision probably having somebody from Troon back to advise the board and kind of answer your questions and things like that at some point this fall. That's great that the language is out and everything. We just haven't received updates, so thank you, Sir.
All right. Anything further with regard to the capital improvement projects for RFP? No? All right. That concludes the for future action portion of our agenda. Moves us to board committee chair reports, community recognition. Anybody have anything to report?
Policy met today before, so we have a number of things that will be moving forward for your review at the next meeting, and we're continuing to make our way through some of the summer policy recommendations from our legal representation. And then just I wanted to make a community announcement and thank the American Legion for sponsoring 2 rising seniors from Brighton High School that both attended Girls State at the Michigan State campus a couple weeks ago. I haven't heard if any boys attended at Hillsdale, but I think it's a great partnership. It's fantastic that American Legion continues to do this, and so hopefully every year we can send kids through that program.
Mr. Stoll?
Some of this might touch on what we talked on a few other things, but I'll run through it. Science classrooms, there was a discussion ensuing regarding the science room renovations and potential costs for a future project. Update on the summer projects. Miller is on phase 2 with fire alarm work. Turf replacement is going well in the backfield, being completed along with netting. The main field should be done by the end of last week, so I'm assuming that happened. I haven't heard any different.
It's open for play.
Pardon?
It was open for play today.
All right. A question was asked about the size of the Go Dogs logo in the end zone being too small. And it turns out that this field has now been marked up as a multiple sport, line visibilities for varying sports, the VCBA stage project. Will begin on July 20th and should be done before opening day. BHS chiller install RFP was posted last week. We talked about that a little bit. Gym floors have been done and some parking lots have been seal coated. Capital improvement project, list for BOE approval on July 13. As a follow-up to the previous facility committee meeting, a list was proposed. And for final, and as you've seen, we've talked about that. The chillers dispenser at Horning were taken off the list. You now know why. There are 4 elevators in need. I'm trying to skim through and not bore you with talking about it again. Requested cost quotes on secure vestibules at Spencer and Horning. We do want to see what the best price is we could come up with, so we're going to get some information on that. It's not good enough to just say we can't do it because it costs too much. Let's see what we can do. We can always improve it. And as everyone knows, Mr. Storm had requested this on the June 25th special board meeting. I plan on going through with that for him. Scranton Road access, handicap spaces. We've gone back and forth with the state on this. A proposal from the June 4 meeting, which was to create a car wash style thing. I actually brought that up. I'm sure everyone's aware of that now. Basically, it's some type of a sticker for a car that would allow them to come in and out. The state actually put the X on that because it would allow guests that are not regular to our school or part of our school district to do it. So at this point, we have kind of turned everything back to the way it was back there, and we're going to take a better look at it and see what else we can do. Right now, the direction we would give is for the time is to close it. It won't be as convenient as it is when it's wide open, but it would be much safer as during this time when we did leave it open, we had people parking everywhere within the first few hours of the first day, which creates a very unsafe condition, as Mr. Storm has noted in the past. So we're going to put it back out there and keep thinking about it, trying to figure this thing out. The problem with it is if we make too many changes, every time you change the amount of handicap spaces you have in a building, whether or not you need them or not, the state requires an inspection to make sure they were done properly and they're within. And also, we made that change already one time. And in order to make that change right, we need to have the state come in at the cost of a permit and another inspection to tell us, okay, you can now reverse them. It's just the law. That's how it works. Anytime you touch anything handicapped, that's the point. So we're trying to work within the law and figure it out and come up with the best plan for our situation. and also for the BHS air handlers. We were speaking about those at that meeting. That pretty much covered it, and I know there was a lot of it that was already discussed this evening, so. Do you have any questions for anyone?
On the, you talked about the multi-use lines in the football field. Was the, I mean, I know we approved the purchase of turf. I don't recall approving the design. Do you know how the design got approved and who approved that?
I think under the direction of our athletic director, I mean, it's not something that we necessarily would vote on. I don't believe we've ever brought that before the board, but I could be wrong. But I think that was just the decision. That's what the people wanted, what the kids were asking for, and the coaches were asking for, and I think that's how it happened.
I mean, Mr. Thompson did say that the drawing that he brought was the drawing of what's out there right now, that the board saw that during the spring. I don't remember that time exactly, but that's what he did mention in the meeting.
It seems to be what they're doing now. Because the more sports you can use on the field, the better, obviously, for all the reasons that we all are aware of, most of us.
I would just draw your attention that the same week that our turf was getting put in, the Detroit News had the top 10 stadiums around the state in their list, and we did not make it, and it's largely stadiums, but if you look at the turf, we are an outlier on what the end zones look like, so. Not a fan, but we didn't approve it. This wasn't a board decision, so.
There is a college, which one is it? I can't remember, it's been a while, but that uses our field every time they're on their way down from up north somewhere. They can't wait to get here, and I remember being here when they visited once. Dr. Gray was still super, so it's been a while for me, but I know they've been in between. They prefer our field over their own school. I want to say, what's the one on the other side that's known for teachers and police officers? Starts with an F. Ferris, I think it's Ferris. They come through and they used to request to use our field. It was kind of a big deal, and kids would go out and see them. They'd throw the balls for them or something.
Which is fine, but it doesn't look like it did before.
It wasn't meant to, yeah, it wasn't meant to go against anything you guys say. It was just a comment I want to say. They do love that field.
All right, anything further? No? All right, well, that concludes all items on our agenda for this evening. Our next meeting is a special board work session on Monday, July 27.